Hello everyone, welcome to A Glimpse of China. Today we are going to talk about one of the greatest philosophers and educators of ancient China, Confucius. Living in the state of Lu, which is the current Qufu city in Shandong province, during the spring and autumn period of China, Confucius was a great philosopher, statesman, and educator of the spring and autumn period of China. And he is the founder of Confucianism and the initiator of private schools in China. Through his righteousness, optimism, and enterprising spirit, he has influenced greatly the character of the Chinese people from generation to generation. Later generations honor him as the sage of sages and the teacher of all ages. The life of Confucius can be best concluded by his own words. At 15, I had my mind bent on learning. At 30, I stood firm. At 40, I had no doubts. At 50, I knew the decrees of heaven. At 60, my ear was an obedient organ for the reception of truth. At 70, I could follow what my heart desired without transgressing what was right. What is the Chinese equivalent of the above words? Actually, this is a brief summary of his own life. Can you tell me your understanding of these words? Confucius is a great educator and preserver of ancient classics. Confucius did not compile his own writings. He understood himself as a transmitter and not as an author. 即述而不作. He says, I transmit and do not author. Yet he studied the ancient classics and often quoted from them because he trusted in the thoughts of the old. He said, I loved antiquity and believed in it. 即所谓信而好古. Confucius was later credited with the compilation of these words. 诗经, the book of songs. 尚书, the book of documents. 易经, the book of changes. And the books of rites, 礼记, as well as of the chronicle of the state of Lu, 春秋, or in English, the spring and autumn annals. But textual research shows that the core part of these texts is much older than Confucius. Later on, these writings were canonized as the Confucian classics. Confucius' own teachings are preserved in the 论语, or Confucian Analects, that were compiled by his disciples. Confucius is known as the first teacher in China who wanted to make education broadly available and who was instrumental in establishing the art of teaching as a vocation, indeed as a way of life. Before Confucius, aristocratic families had hired tutors to educate their sons in specific arts, and the government officials had instructed their subordinates in the necessary techniques. But Confucius was the first person to devote his whole life to learning and teaching for the purpose of transforming and improving society. He believed that all human beings could benefit from self-cultivation. He inaugurated a humanities program for potential leaders, opened the doors of education to all, and defined learning not merely as the acquisition of knowledge, but also as character building. His major beliefs on education can be summarized like the follows. The first belief is individualized teaching, which means to educate someone according to their natural ability, 即因材施教. The second belief is the principle of providing education for all people without discrimination. The third one is called the heuristic education, 即启发式教育. What is heuristic education? Actually, we can get a hint from the following quotation of Confucius himself. Confucius says, "Do not enlighten the disciples until they want to speak, but cannot express themselves clearly. Do not continue to teach such disciples if they are not able to draw inferences from one given example." 即不愤不启，不悱不发，举一隅不以三隅反，则不复也. Can you tell me your understanding of these words? As maybe one of the most successful educators in history, it is said that Confucius educated a total of 3,000 disciples, 72 of whom were outstanding ones. Okay, let's stop right here. Next time, we will continue our talk on Confucius' thoughts. See you next time.